Maybe I don't have the right. Oh, look. I forgot to turn your microphone. There you are. Say it again.
And beyond
Yeah,
Johnson
Johnson
County.
County and beyond. Oh, look. Now I hear both ears.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was.
I can now.
Oh,
That
maybe
was
maybe a
bizarro.
wire was just crisscrossed or something. Anyway, we made it.
Crisscross will make you.
Crisscross. Whatever that song was. Oh,
That's how I got my wife.
was crisscross?
Yeah. Yeah. I made her laugh about crisscross. I was reminding her of crisscross will make you jump,
Jump,
jump.
jump,
Daddy Mac will make you jump,
jump,
jump.
jump.
Like them boys wear their pants backwards.
So last year for our parent dance at that Studio C dance, um, we did Jump, you know, by
Van Halen.
yes, Van Halen's Jump, and it seems like we did something the year before that seemed like it was kind of in that same theme. So maybe this year we need to do crisscross make you
Dude,
jump.
that's the jam right there. And you could wear your britches backwards. Of course, with these yoga pants, I don't think you can tell the difference. It might be a little like soppy baggy in the front or whatever, but that's the only way you'd know they were backwards. See how I said that backwards?
Backwards. Hey, I say that all the time. Backward and britches and
my mama's country. You know, she grew up out here, and she has different sayings that we laugh about. Now she doesn't wash clothes. She's gonna do the wash.
wash.
I gotta wash some clothes.
Hmm.
Dear Lord, Mama, are you serious? Well, what else am I supposed to call it? Washing? There's no R in that. It's wash. Okay. You guys want some salmon?
Salmon, like salmon
Mom,
patties.
Mom, it's salmon.
Am I?
There's an L in there. I said, well, you say there's not. You say there's an R where there's not, and there's not an L where there is. I mean, what is the deal here? What language are you speaking?
And I can't quite figure out where that comes from because it's not Fort Worth. But my ex-in-laws' parents, so my ex-husband's grandparents would say "warsh,"
Wash.
but they're not really from here. Like they've been here long enough to count, but at the same time, they're not originally from here. So I'm like, where does that come from?
So I have a problem. People say, well, you know, Texas is in the South. No, Texas is Texas. The South is east of us. That's the deep South. Over on
Yeah.
the east side, you know, people who say pecan. People in the South say pecan. A Texan would never eat a pecan pie. Ever. They know where pecans go.
Yeah.
They have pecan pies. Same thing. We don't have aunts. We have aunts.
Yeah. No. Well, and I consider anybody that says aunt that they're Yankee. Like that's Yankee lingo.
That sounds like Yankee to me. But Virginia people say your aunt.
Yeah. Well, I consider Virginia pretty much Yankee.
Even West Virginia? I mean, there is a divide in the state.
You know, it just gets a little wonky over there.
You know, West Virginia is a family affair.
But like, so
that
I
was
wear
intended.
I wear, I got it.
Okay.
I wear a toboggan. Okay. My mom always called it a toboggan. So I have always called it a toboggan. And then nowadays people are like, you're wearing a what? And I'm like, yeah, a toboggan. And they're like, you mean a beanie? And I'm like, no.
It's not a beanie.
I don't understand why.
Toboggan is not a beanie.
Well, so apparently in northern states, they call toboggans, like what they call a toboggan is a sled.
A sled?
Yeah. Like you can Google toboggan and it comes up.
So
sleds.
what do they slide on?
Sleds. Like.
So they got one on their head and on their butts?
No, they don't. They don't call those toboggan. The ones on their head, they don't call toboggans. I don't know what to do with that. But whatever.
This is why traveling between states feels more like traveling between countries. Texas is its own country. There was a reason we were the Republic of Texas.
Because we're the best.
Well, we certainly think we are anyway.
Just not at football.
That cuts deep. Not going to lie. That cuts pretty deep.
I mean, okay, so let's say if we could have like a perfect NFL team, would we compile it of all like Texas players. Like, imagine if we had Patrick Mahomes and like all only Texas players. How good would that team
then
be?
nobody else would have any players.
Exactly. So
'Cause
aren't we
everybody-
still the best?
Yeah, I'd say about 70% of all NFL players are from Texas, and about another 20-25% are from California, and the rest are just kind of sporadic throughout the
'Cause,
rest of the nation.
We're the only ones that know how to do Friday Night Lights the right way.
Because we're obsessed with it. I mean, obsessed. I never seen people more angry than at a Friday night game. Yeah, I went to Alito this year for a game.
Yeah?
And for those of you who are listening, if you haven't been to Alito for a game, you won't find more money being spent anywhere in the Metroplex than Alito, maybe Allen, for football.
And South Lake, the Dragons, they spend a lot of money too.
The
Hi,
South
Nona.
Lake Carroll Dragon. What are you doing? Why are you muting me?
I didn't
What are
mean
you
to.
doing?
Because they're out of order, and so sometimes I get I was like gonna push Nona's button and up.
If it's
sorry.
not lit up,
it's
it is not muted.
It's an accident. It wasn't on the purpose.
That's my Jace Robertson impression. If it's not muted, don't push it.
With a sweet tea
Everybody, well, I don't know if they do sweet tea. They do unsweet tea.
or unsweet tea.
That's
I know
correct.
it's tea.
I drink unsweet tea.
I do know it's tea.
My mama.
Nona
put that in
Collins
me in the
joins
beginning.
us.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nona.
Am I released now that you have your co-host to go to work?
You want to go to work? You want to leave?
You want to leave us?
I mean, I should, because I have work.
You closed a deal this week, or you're closing a deal.
Yeah,
this week.
yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A
Congrats.
cash deal, which is always the good one.
Nice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
We're pending. So if you are looking to sell your home, Jason Bagley is your guy.
He sure is.
I also help people buy homes. I also help with commercial real estate.
Mhm.
So if you have some interest in that, I have a significant amount of experience in that from days gone by and more recently as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. He's got big things coming
Coming.
his way.
We actually, I don't know if I told you, we did our groundbreaking.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So,
I would have gone if I'd known.
Well, I mean, it was just us. We were just taking a picture. No one showed up. It was just for our benefit. It's our inaugural property being built. We have about 10,000 square feet of commercial space being built just south of the emergency room in it's Burleson, still Burleson, between Burleson and
People
Joshua.
think it's Joshua.
It is actually still Burleson. It's in the Burleson city limits, and it's going to be right at the gateway going into Chisholm Summit. So
Awesome.
if you know someone who is a physician or doctor or someone in the medical field looking for really great space in a location where you're going to have some good access to some ancillary people, we would love to talk with you about that. I'm one of the people involved in the investors, and we're really excited about it. It's going to be a good deal.
Awesome. I'm so excited for you.
Thanks.
And if they're coming from Fort Worth, they could just take Chisholm Trail to the 917 exit, right? Or
they could shoot across. Yeah.
I mean, that's the closest one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean,
don't have to live anywhere in the area.
Yeah, there's going to be some access from the Chisholm Summit overpass that they're putting in.
Okay, I thought that, but I wasn't 100% sure. Good. That is so
that's going to be a big ad. So where Willow Creek comes in, right? If you're familiar with where the emergency room and QT is, that shoots back into a neighborhood right there. Well, that neighborhood will have access all the way to Chisholm Summit, and through Chisholm Summit all the way back to Chisholm Trail Parkway. So you'll be able to get to Chisholm Trail Parkway from where we are building in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, then that's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It'll be really good.
Oh, you gave Tiffy that. She drinks actually as a righty.
Well, I
bought that for her, so I know because I have Haley has one too.
I should have gotten that one.
Well, if she drinks as a righty, there's a hole right there in the front. So if she drinks,
Yeah, that's it.
I know,
That's the whole point.
I get it. I didn't.
but
read
she's
it.
a lefty and she drinks as a righty, though.
She won't today.
Yeah.
She will once.
Oh man,
Oh, and she's listening. I can
I'm
hear her.
so
I don't always drink as a righty, but I do pay attention to that cup.
You do when we're on air.
That's probably because that's where I put the coffee mug.
She's always.
I've never spilled out of the hole in the lefty princess cup.
I know, but she had it on the right side.
Is she that loud in the radio too, or is it just our?
That's
ear?
just.
I think it's just our
That's
ears.
just the way. That's just the way I hung the mugs up. They're facing to the left. So when you're left-handed, I mean, think about this. Like the next time you go to grab a cup or do like habitual things that you do, I set things up for my left hand. So I'll hold the cup with the right, but I'll pour with my left. See what I mean?
I know,
Okay.
but when you sit at the table, you have it on your right side and you pick it up with your right hand.
Okay, true. All right, that's true. You're right.
I just wanted you to be warned before you come in. And
I know that the listeners out there want to know this. This is need to know information.
I mean, it would have kind of
for
been
each of you.
kind of funny,
Well, Jason, you're left-handed too, right?
You're
Correct.
confusing me. Am I left or right?
Correct.
I am left-handed in all
Yes.
things. No.
All things, absolutely everything.
I putt left-handed when I play golf. I hit, with my.
I learned to
right,
play
but
golf.
then whenever I go whenever I'm putting, I'm left-handed.
Learned to play golf right-handed. I also learned to play baseball right-handed, which made for a terrible baseball player because I'd try to throw with my right hand because we didn't have any left-handed gloves. I mean, they were all left-handed gloves, so you couldn't throw with your left hand,
Right?
Because we didn't have that kind of money. What do you mean, boy? You learn how to drive.
Interesting enough. Interesting enough, though, I bat lefty, but I catch with my left and throw with my right.
Well.
So, literally everything I do with a stick form, such as a pen, pencil, utensil, pool stick, bat, golf club, and other things, I do left-handed. And everything with a ball, I bowl righty, I catch with my left, but I throw with my right.
So if it's a stick, you use your left, and if it's a ball, you use your right?
That's correct.
Okay. It makes sense.
Well, it's just the way,
I mean,
God, make it. Left-handed.
because she's got to use both hands to do
Zero
both
now.
things. It's so good.
I'm putting right. I mean, I'm on right now. It's in my left hand.
You're starting to sound like Max Headroom.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
Okay, goodbye.
On that note, I'm out.
I'm out of here.
Man, I am worn out. This weekend had me worn out. It was my dance mom, Studio C dance. What? They're awesome. But Elise was also in musical at the junior high, SpongeBob the musical. And so the performance was on Friday night and Saturday night. And so Friday night, I take her to musical. We go to musical. And then after musical's over, we drive to Frisco and then wake up at 7. Well, actually, I think we were up at 6 a.m. because she had to be down there and have had breakfast by 7:30. And then
Why are you flipping me off?
I'm not even pointing at you. I'm touching the table.
Doing her little checklist of things she did.
Then while at convention, they've got to eat lunch. So I'm apparently the lunch runner. So I got to go get lunches for all the girls that are signed up with me and bring them back and feed them. And then after convention's over for the day, I've got to book it back to Burleson so she can be in her Saturday night performance of SpongeBob the musical. She was a rock star. She was so cool. Like they were, her her part was Electric Skates. It's a band apparently in SpongeBob, and she was the lead singer. She was super. She was super cute.
Oh,
She definitely has stage presence. And then after that was over on Saturday, then book it back up to Frisco.
wow.
Yeah, so they could be up at 6 a.m. again. It's awesome.
I don't miss those days.
It was really great. I'm just tired, man. I wasn't. I was
it keeps you
useless
busy.
yesterday.
It keeps you busy and out of trouble. I will
Yeah.
say that.
Kendall's got show offs this Thursday, and so I have taken the hit for Joyce because she's supposed to sing in the choir on Thursday, and we're both servants at the church. So I said, "Look, honey, I know you never get to sing unless it's at choir." So I said, "Why don't you go to rehearsal, and I'll do your deal." So I'm slinging hot dogs and nachos
Nice.
Thursday at the Centennial
Very
High School.
cool.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
I might wash my hands an extra time or two.
You better. No telling what them kids got.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I wasn't talking about the kids. I'm talking about me.
Talking about parents.
Know yourself. Know yourself. Yeah, it's it was a wild weekend. It was really good, but like half the girls Elise's age are sick, so I'm like,
Ugh.
I'm glad I took the day yesterday to rest because clearly I need my immune system kicking it on all 4 cylinders.
You only
Anyway.
got 4 cylinders?
Just on my immune system.
Oh, man.
I got 10 for the rest of me, though. Nona, did you get moved in or yet? Or
No, it's still being built.
still being
Yeah.
built?
Mhm. And then that won't happen until we get back.
Oh, when do y'all leave again?
We leave Thursday.
Ooh, it's coming up.
I know. We're
And
going
what all-
on
where all y'all
vacation.
going?
Man.
We will go to Honduras, Belize, private islands, both of them, and then Casamaya and Cozumel. I was going to say Cozumel, so
Yeah, I
at
get it.
first, and so,
Costamaya is what
yeah,
you meant. I
yeah.
get it.
So yeah,
Still can't wrap my head around going on a cruise.
why? This is my second one. I mean, we're not.
I told you my immune system's only got 4 cylinders. I
My-
would not survive the come home.
The norovirus.
my
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, Sarah.
we tried to get them to
Can't
go. And Todd's like, I'd go, but getting Tiffany to go.
It's all that recycled water. I just can't wrap my head around it. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Well,
It's not recycled.
I mean, honestly, I considered it more than Todd did this time, but he has trial in 30 days, and when that's happening, he can't go anywhere.
I mean, I'm excited. I just need a little
Yeah, you
getaway.
You need.
I need to be able to
rejuvenate.
stop and just sit on the beach
Yeah, you need to.
and it's going to be a big family affair. There's like 20 of us. Now
It's always more fun with more people.
we don't plan on trying to coordinate everything, but I mean, for the most part, we have already coordinated a lot of things together.
That's good.
So
I mean,
I
what's-
want to know why. What's the theory, Jason, behind it's always more fun with more people? Is this just a cruise thing that you mean, or
So yeah, when you're on a cruise, well, vacations are that way too, I guess, to a degree. But when you're on a cruise ship, there's only a limited number of things to do, and everybody wants to do something different. So a lot of times, if you have more people, if one person wants to go play
At
bingo,
least there's somebody that wants to go.
there's
with
somebody
you.
who might want to
Right.
go play bingo with you, or if you want to go see a show and someone else doesn't, it's fine, no big deal. We're going to go watch a show. You can go,
Right,
gamble or whatever you
right.
want to do.
Yeah, there's other options.
yeah.
Hurts so bad.
Sarah's been injured. She's working
Did we
on
miss
she's working
that
on
part
3
of the
cylinders.
conversation?
It's a conversation not
just
worth
'cause she's
having.
Yeah,
worn
that's
out?
not a radio conversation.
honestly, yeah.
I did miss that part of that conversation.
Oh my gosh. Anyway,
She can tell you off air.
So anyway, it was also good to start we will start having competitions for dance coming up in the next
Yay.
couple months, like
Yep,
next month.
it's
I know there's
competition
one.
season.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Competition season, then tryouts, and
Studio C Dance. I'm gonna plug them.
So we have
when does dance have their tryouts?
for
April.
starters or
Mhm.
April.
No, hers. He's
not
spark.
starters, but whatever.
Sparklers.
Sparklers.
I know they get offended, but I mean, I'm sorry. I only know one name. I'm trying to keep up. Red or blue?
Blue.
Hey, I was a honeycomb. That's was our name.
All right.
So it's
Where was that?
white settlement.
Oh, well, how about that?
I'm surprised that name hadn't gotten
Me too.
canceled yet.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, how come we haven't changed that
If you
name
know
yet?
the real history, it's not as bad as it sounds.
I understand, but it just sounds bad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I know. It's gone. It has actually recently. It did go through a lot of like
Scrutiny.
but
Well,
I call it now. It wasn't back when I was growing up, but it's the land of the gypsies now. I swear. Whoo, crazy!
Really.
Those gypsy kids are the craziest.
So like on Peaky Blinders, they're gypsies.
Uh-huh.
Is that the
Do they
kinda
look like
gypsy?
them?
I have not seen that show.
Oh my gosh.
If you're saying like all dolled up and acting like they're 18 when they're really only 2,
No, I mean like the actual lineage, the
Or-
gypsies.
I mean I don't know because I haven't seen that show, but I know the moms all have designer everything and they think their kids' crap doesn't stink, and the kids
Well, that has
literally
nothing
That
to
will.
do
doesn't
with
sound like
being a
gypsies.
gypsy.
No, no. The kids will go like to certain areas and take over like areas where kids should play and not have to run into bullies, and they will literally overrun. And while they're in there, they'll steal from your stuff, so you have to be careful. And I
That
mean,
sounds like a gypsy.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say now that sounds a little bit more stereotypical
right?
gypsy.
Because the
unfortunately,
dads are out there robbing from the old people and stuff, and and so, I mean, it's
This
gotten
is
bad.
just on the cusp
Yeah.
of racist.
yeah.
No,
It's-
how's it racist?
It's because it's their race and it's stereotyping their race, but
But
that's
that's how they
hold on.
are.
I'm just saying it's on the cusp.
They really are.
if-
I had to throw them out of my nephew's birthday party that they kept sneaking into that room to steal stuff.
Right.
That's how they are.
All I'm saying is if you replace gypsy with Jew or black or Hispanic, suddenly what you just said is extremely racist.
faux pas. Yeah,
Well,
yeah. We're almost taboo.
That's all I'm saying. Like one might want to tread carefully upon those statements.
Hey, I actually had a gypsy student and I absolutely loved her, but I hated that every time I turned around, her
I had a
parents
black student.
were
once.
oh shit.
I have black
Oh
friends.
my god. You are turning this into
I have gypsy friends.
Aren't you
I have
glad you
Mexican
asked me to
friends.
I
stay?
have black friends too.
You want me to leave now? This
You
is
are
what I do.
dismissed.
I,
You
honest
are
to God,
fired.
Hey, I have Native American friends.
I stick
It's
around.
okay, I is one.
I is all of them.
Some of my closest friends are black.
Hey, maybe I'm a gypsy and you don't know it.
Gypsy beggars and thieves.
I mean, we got
You know
blue
what
eyes.
album is that from?
It's
What?
sounds familiar.
No,
I don't either. I'm trying to remember. I can't. Is it Cher? Did Cher did that?
I have no idea.
I have to look it up on the.
Well,
break.
that would be racist of her.
You're so much older than me. I wouldn't.
Oh.
And now we're
It's
getting
But
true.
into
I'm older
ageism.
than all of y'all. Wait a
It's
minute.
true. I'm not even gonna lie about that one. I've lived longer.
But I've lived longer than you.
You have?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I'll believe you.
Have you hit 50 yet?
Not yet.
Okay, then I'm older than you.
All right.
I'm the oldest one at the table.
Hold on.
'Cause I
Hold
missed
on.
something
She
coming.
doesn't understand the
Oh, look,
difference
she's
between
dressed
mute
as
and
a
unmute.
gypsy.
Is it unmuted?
I got it.
Okay, I have a question. What part was racist?
Well, we were.
Are we
talking
really gonna go there?
about
No, I
gypsies.
I missed. I
like,
think I missed when I was trying to.
We were
All
talking
of
about
the cars.
gypsies.
It was a stereotypical. You're talking
I
about a
was
stereotype. And I was just saying
stereotyping.
you have to be careful because you're right on the cusp of being racist if you just go a little bit too far. And it was just a joke.
Gypsies are thieves. They steal. That's what they
That's
do.
their
But
stereotype.
that's not a stereotype. That's
Well,
what
I
they
mean-
do. That's how they live.
Yeah, that's exactly how they live.
They roam from town to town, but gypsies are not any particular race.
Actually, they are.
Well,
Uh-huh.
See, I guess I don't know that part,
Most
but that's
of the
not
time
true
they
on the
are
East
white
Coast.
people, I will say. Most
They-
of the time.
Okay, well,
They
what's
actually are,
racist
like,
about that?
so-
We're all white.
They're not white. They're gypsies. They
They're
have
a
their
race of
own.
people.
They
They
are
are not a
yes,
race.
They
of
are.
Gypsies are not a race. That is
Okay.
a
Yes.
description of a group of people, like the mob. Like you guys are
Right, I agree
describing
with that.
when you were talking about.
I had a
there-
mobster who was a student once, and I really liked him.
Okay, well, when you were
I'm
describing
gonna kick your ass after this.
when you were describing the girls.
Meet me outside, dang
That's
it.
right.
Okay,
We'll have
Their-
to
their
discuss this
moms
when
all
we get
have-
back.
Oh,
In
damn.
3 minutes. Can't
And
wait.
you got to get here at 9.
Well, I can't. I was taking care of a kid.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night every Saturday night.
Look,
Miss Dixie,
Look,
how
I-
you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I
Mom.
just wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
Oh,
I
my
would rather
God.
have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love you.
girl. I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
My mom. Love you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JOCO Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
JOCO Community Radio. Listen live at tunein.com.
JOCO Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoco.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JOCOCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Next Level Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep at 844.tex.hail. That's 844.839.4245.hail. Be sure to dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com.
Did you say hail?
Hail. Hail.
Well, welcome back to the second half of JOCO Vibes here on JOCO Community Radio. It's a rainy day here in Johnson County, Texas, this 23rd of January. And it's going to be like this all day. So grab an umbrella.
All
I
day, son.
went with a hat day because I didn't want to have to mess with it.
I'm
Go
getting
getting in and out of the car.
Me too. I didn't
Uh,
want to fix it.
Tamara
Me
Payne
neither.
shared some information about the history of gypsies. So it says, what nationality are gypsies? Roma gypsies originated in the Punjab region of northern India as a nomadic people and entered Europe between the 8th and 10th centuries CE. They were called gypsies because Europeans mistakenly believed they they came from Egypt. This minority is made up of distinct groups called tribes or nations. And that was something that was posted, I believe, on Wikipedia or somewhere March 19th, 2021. Okay, that's the history of gypsies, where it came from. But when you look at modern day gypsies here in the United States, they're not all Roma. And they don't come from any particular area. And it's more a sect of people, not a nationality
I'm
of
not
people.
talking about Jesus Jews. I'm talking about American Jews. They're
No.
totally different.
No.
I'm not. They're not even from the
I
same
think we're talking
area.
about two different types of gypsies.
I don't believe that we are actually.
They're talking about Tamara's talking about gypsies that, I Dream of Jeannie gypsy. That's why people confuse them coming from
That's
Egypt.
not a gypsy.
That's
That's
not
a genie.
That's a genie.
whatever, but she wore the gypsy pants or genie pants.
Because she
Where
was
are
a
we
genie.
at?
She wasn't a gypsy.
I don't
She
know.
was a genie.
Okay, you're right. She was a genie. Rub my bottle and I'll pop out.
With a left hand or right
Oh,
hand?
somebody mark
Well,
that
Both.
time right now.
She
That's
uses
that's
both.
a, that's a
With the ball
promo
at the
right there.
bottom.
That is our promo right there.
I think we
If
might
you're
have to
not
clip that
listening,
part
you're
of the
missing
show.
out. This is too good.
I had to go there. It's probably left-handed.
Oh,
I mean, going by the shape of her bottle.
oh.
Got a ball and a stick.
It was a ball and a stick. It's like, do you use both hands?
I'm so glad we all have the
Y'all.
same visual right now.
Oh my god.
I'm canceling us. Just kidding.
Oh man.
And we're right on the verge of cancel. I mean, it's
Oh
just,
man.
I
By
feel like
our
I'm.
own selves.
Good thing we know the owner.
I feel like I'm just doing this with my arms on.
Oh.
Yeah,
All the
okay.
time.
Yeah,
Shall
okay.
we shift to the focus word of the week?
Yes.
Let's focus.
Anything
Let's get some Jesus in us.
to get away from that conversation.
All right. This
It's
is a
funny
book.
because all of us at this table have blue eyes. Like we could, any one of us could be gypsies.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they have blue eyes.
All right. Well, my
Focus
That's-
word of the week. Focus.
So stereotyping.
Focus.
my aunt's
Focus.
late husband was a gypsy and from a
Focus
family of
word of the week.
gypsies from Pennsylvania, and he did not have blue eyes, that I recall.
Try not to
Try
get
not
that
to-
close to him.
Straight up.
They might steal from you.
Not gonna lie about
You're too
that.
close.
I love my aunt, but that's all I got to say.
Mhm.
That's it. She's married to a wonderful preacher now.
From one side to the other.
All right. And this is a good word to focus on this week. This is a book by Clear Cherry Reeves. You too can get this book. It's how one word a week will transform your life. And no doubt that it does for many of us here at
Can
the
I read
table.
that name real quick? Who is it?
Clear Cherry Reeves.
What a wild name.
Right? Yep. Look it up.
Is
Yeah.
that how you say it?
That's how you say it. I mean, I haven't been corrected by anybody, so
'Cause
correct
no
me
one
if
else
I'm
knows
wrong.
either.
I mean, it looks like it should be Clear, but the only person I've ever heard name like that is Claire.
I don't know. We're gonna have to Google it. Maybe she goes by Claire. I don't know, but that would be a very weird spelling
It's
of
very
Claire,
odd. Yeah.
right?
Well, you know,
Okay.
So
Someone help
these
us.
days.
this week's focus word of the week is renew. Set your minds on things that are above, not on things that are on earth. Colossians
Mhm.
3:2. And the tip of the week is this week, as you focus on the word renew, try to capture your negative thoughts and recalibrate your mind into thoughts of gratefulness and love. I am super, super freaking grateful and full of love this week for so many reasons. So many reasons. And, I just say asked and answered prayers. And I look at my family and I just, that picture I posted of my daughter with the first,
That
she's
was so cool.
She's crocheted other things, but
That-
this is the first baby blanket that
Mhm.
she completed because she started one, I don't know, a month and a half ago, and it was too tight, so it's become a rug. So she's making a rug for a friend instead. And so, I mean, I just look at, today versus 3 years ago or 3 years ago. I can't figure that
she
out.
looked
And
really good in that photo.
and
Yes.
where our family was at 3 years ago and what we were going through and what she was going through.
Mhm.
Let me rephrase that because that was her stuff, although it affects a family. And I'm just really proud of her.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mhm.
so grateful to God because my family nucleus and everything is, he's always in control. And if we just let go and let God, and that's what
Like our
she's done in
focus
her
word-
life.
Our focus word,
Yeah.
my mug says focus, and it says let God work. And it's
Yeah.
not about what we can do, but because when
Yes.
we start helping God, usually we screw it up. That's how we have
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
Abraham had Ishmael, like now we have a whole Muslim nation. Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Have we traveled the world? I'm checking
But,
my cup.
It's like, it's good. It's good for us to let God work. Let him do his thing.
Absolutely.
Because he's God and we're not.
Isn't he kind of just
Right.
stepping in all areas of our lives? Everybody here at this table.
Yeah.
100%.
Everywhere.
And I mean, you're on the cusp of a new house. You've just had a closing and on the
Not a closing, but we do have one under contract. so
under
that's good.
contract. I'm sorry, under contract and a possible on something else. And you're stepping into all these
Yeah,
greatness
I've
things
got lots of
and
things coming.
I established an
Yes, we got-
LLC yesterday.
Yes, he did.
yes, you did.
Yeah, yeah.
And let's just remind everybody, because I messed up and did not do what I needed to do in a timely manner for our side of the radio, and so his show did not. YDFW did not start yesterday,
Yeah.
but it will begin next Monday at 9 a.m. with
I'm so
his
excited.
with his co-host.
Corey Turner from Alamo Title.
Yeah,
He's
super
the
excited.
vice president of, I believe, public, like the sales part of it. So, really interesting guy. Comes from television. He used to do some television and production work.
You
And
could tell that in his picture that you used on the.
he's sharp, and he's got a really sharp wit. And I think it's going to be and it's really cool if once you see it, you'll understand. So I definitely represent the Fort Worth side, and Corey is definitely from that Dallas side. So that
Awesome.
melding of DFW and just all the incredible things that we have here, reasons to live here, reasons to work here, and what's really great about it. And we'll talk about neighborhoods, we'll talk about different things that are going on throughout the area, and it's going to be really good.
Commercial real estate growth, I would assume, which includes, the job growth here in the Fort Worth area. And I'll focus on Fort Worth versus Dallas right now, because it's been this way since the reason I moved here. Actually, I had moved back from Florida to New Jersey, and you can't really stay very long after you left and gone to the South. And I opened up a magazine, 10 fastest growing cities in the U.S., and Fort Worth was one of them.
Yeah.
And two of my sisters were here already in the DFW area, and I was like, well, that's where I'm going. I'm a country singer and songwriter anyway, and the jobs are there.
Yeah.
And it hasn't stopped. It has not stopped.
It's still considered one of the top 3 places that will boom. Obviously, Austin had a big surge during COVID, but we're seeing a tremendous amount of stable growth in the DFW Metroplex. And for those who are looking at and I'm just going to do my little realtor thing here for a second. For those of you who are looking at the markets and you're saying, oh, it's crazy, no one's buying anything. Well, they are here.
Yeah.
They're buying like crazy around here.
Right.
And the good news is we've been under housing for a long time, but we're starting to see some builders actually come up with houses. So the reason you're not seeing as much purchasing for used houses is because everybody's buying brand new homes. They're getting really good deals, and I can tell you that a lot of the builders are buying down rates, and right now rates are around 6.5% if you have good credit, depending on the situation. We've seen that 6.5 come through. So if you go to a builder and they buy down your rate to 5%, man, that's a smoking deal for a brand new home in the area. So just something to consider too is the market isn't necessarily what the news says it is, because they're on a national scale. This is Texas, and and beyond that, it's not just Texas, it's Dallas-Fort Worth, which is a totally different section. That's why we have JOCO Community Radio versus just DFW as a whole.
Right.
Is because you get a sense of what's happening in your community. That's why this is so important to have this type of station here. And people need to listen. They need to pay attention.
And I love that, because that was Pam's goal when she started the station. She wanted people to get to know what Johnson County was all about. And I'm glad that she took it to a 24-hour radio station. It's available on our own app, on the TuneIn Radio network. And when we don't have talk shows, we're spinning Texas artists and really trying to highlight and feature all of our wonderful people who are homegrown here or who landed here. I mean, have to remember that.
Yeah.
this is a big state, and not everybody that lives in Texas was born here, but by God, they've been a huge part of the growth.
Shania Twang.
Yeah, twang. Which is funny because I was going to bring up the Fort Worth Stock Show here in just a moment, just so we can kind of see what's happening today. So if you are familiar with Fort Worth and some of what's going on there, or you aren't, there is a staple. And when I say staple, I'm referring to an individual who's been a part of the Fort Worth Chamber for 35 years. And just want to say congratulations to Nettie Matthews. This is her 35th anniversary with the Fort Worth Chamber. And that just speaks volumes.
If you know anything about chambers,
it's unbelievable.
That's a miracle.
It's a miracle. I mean, how many people do you know who've been with a company, with like a specific company for 35 years, let alone a chamber?
Yeah.
Right.
So that speaks volumes for the Fort Worth Chamber, and of course, it speaks volumes for Nettie. And she's
it's
been
stability in the chamber too, so that's so vital.
Right.
It's a challenge to do that,
especially in Fort Worth.
Absolutely. So, I do want to ask you guys: Did you know that today?
Nope.
Is National Measure Your Feet Day?
No.
And if you know what Aiden, if you have an Aiden in your life, Aiden Bubeck, bass player
Aidens.
extraordinaire, it's National Aiden Day. It's also
both nephews.
It's also National King Day. We honor you today, whether you are royalty or your name is simply King. We know a Jeff King. It's your day. So I think we know some other kings too, probably. Sarah King.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's your day. It's also National Handwriting Day. And it's National First Philippine Republic Day, as well as International Sticky Toffee Pudding Day. So if you're
can't miss some International Sticky Toffee
Pudding Day at all.
National Pie Day.
It's also national, and that's actually pie you eat.
Oh,
Whatever.
I was going to say
Not Pie Day.
3.1.
Yeah.
No, not pie.
Which I think that should be the same day. Like,
Right.
why
I thought
didn't
it
they
was.
make
It has
National
its
Pie Day on
it has its
314?
own day. I'm quite sure
Weird.
that we have covered that. And specifically, someone also named it National Rhubarb Pie Day. So they must have felt very like
rhubarb pie, man.
I have to say I've never
You get
tried
some
it.
good rhubarb. It's
Yeah.
good. That's
Mhm.
good stuff. It's tart. So good.
Yeah, it's a weird thing that you can, like, my grandmother and her sister used to make rhubarb pie, and I love it too. I haven't
Yeah.
had it in years, but it's really good.
Well, I really want to throw this out there really quick because this one's the most interesting one I think I've seen so far as I try to silence my phone. It's National Snowplow Mailbox Hockey Day.
That sounds like so much fun.
You're a Yankee. What is that?
I've never heard of this particularly, but it's mount your trucks with the best plow blade as we celebrate mailbox thrashing. So it's taking your plow and
Gotcha.
tearing up people's mailboxes,
Tearing
which
mailboxes
nobody
down.
should do that on purpose.
Isn't
It's
that
just
like a felony, federal offense?
Right.
'Cause
I don't think it's a federal offense, but I'm getting a message from somebody. Okay, it's a child, and they're not supposed to be on their phone, so I don't want to tattle on them. I only have one left in
I
school,
know.
though.
I'm like, you just kind of
Yeah.
tunneled.
Sort of. All right. Did you also know Five Oaks is a cluster of trees west of Cleburne, which served as a marker for early pioneers? These trees were a guidepost for Bonnie and Clyde on their way to their hideout in Goat Neck. The trees have weathered hundreds of years of lightning strikes, strong winds, dry spells, followed by, followed by wet spells and cattle rustlers once hung from its limbs. But still they stand a sentinel and guidepost for folks traveling the Cleburne Meridian Highway.
Mhm.
The Cleburne Meridian Highway, can you guys tell me, since
have
you're
no idea
original
where that
settlers
is.
here, is that like the old Main Street?
67.
Is that
I
67?
think it's 67.
Five Oaks is a cluster of trees west of
There's
Cleburne.
old Cleburne Highway that runs over there by 67.
Okay. Well, it's west of Cleburne.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
where
going towards Glen Rose.
Right.
now
Correct.
is that where Goat Neck is? Where's Goat Neck?
Goat Neck is actually west of Godley.
Okay. And is that its own
Kinda
town?
west, southwest of Godley.
Is it its own town?
It's a area.
Okay.
So the reason they call it, I believe, and I'm just going on speculation of what I remember of seeing it. When you go out to Goat Neck, there's a particular road that you come out, and there's a basically like a side of a hill that comes over. It's a big piece of rock formation, and it sticks over. And so they call it goat neck because of that, because you have to go kind of around this area. But yeah, we had to be careful when we drove our trucks out there. The garbage trucks, we used to pick trash up out there. And you had to be careful because if you got too close to one side, you'd tear the top of the garbage truck off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it was unavoidable. It's not like you could cut it back.
That's no good.
Okay, Meridian Highway. I just looked it up. Meridian Highway.
That's south.
Like it went.
Well, if it's Meridian, then it's south, going like 174. But how can it be west of? Oh,
because it ran west.
West
of
of
okay, I know where
Cleveland.
it's at.
Heading towards Goat Neck.
No,
that was a
those
marker.
are totally
I'm sorry.
different places.
They
They were
said
going to
no.
Goat
I'm
Neck.
sorry. They said that they use the
They
5
probably
oaks as
said,
a marker.
okay, if you're going left, that's Meridian. If you go right, that's Goat Neck.
Right. I just want to rephrase
That
how
makes
we said it.
sense. Like if you're coming west from Cleburne, if you make a left, you go towards Meridian. If you make a right, you would go towards Goat Neck.
5 Oaks is a cluster of trees west of Cleburne, which served as a marker for early pioneers. These trees were a guidepost for Bonnie and Clyde on their way to the hideout in Goat Neck. So that was probably their marker to turn.
I don't know, but
Right?
Well,
Maybe?
Meridian is west of Lake Whitney.
Why
so-
do people have such a fascination with Bonnie and Clyde to this day?
I don't know. I don't.
She was crazy.
They were
both. They were horrible
human
people.
beings.
I mean, he was just so in love and stupidly willing to do anything, but she was crazy.
I think that they got what they wanted. They wanted a name
Mhm.
for themselves, like, which is
Yeah.
most people who do make terroristic acts or, you know,
They want to be remembered.
they want to be remembered. They want to
Well,
be
they are.
have a mark
Yeah.
in history, and they don't care what it's for. And I think that was their thing, and they didn't care who
that
got
to
hurt
me,
in
it
the
should be
process.
concerning to people because you have people, God forbid, they ever got a hold of a nuclear weapon or something like
Right.
that to make their name known.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the types of people that we're battling against. Everybody's worried about some yahoo that doesn't like the government. You need to be more concerned about the government who doesn't like the people.
I was just gonna say I'd be concerned
Mhm.
with senile men as
Vladimir
presidents
Putin.
of our United States or
Vladimir Putin.
with access to a button.
Yeah.
Very
terrifying.
scary.
I mean,
Yes.
really, I'm being
yeah,
serious.
we've been terrified for the last 4 years.
I'm gonna go with 8. I'm gonna go with 8.
I'm
Time's
gonna
up.
I'm gonna go with 20.
Can we just have some youth? It's like the same thing that we've really been asking for on the local level of government as well. There's a time and point where people have to step down out of the position and go, we need some fresh eyes and ears in this seat. And this younger generation is now experiencing something different in our growing community than we are experiencing. I think it's important to have a mix of experience that can hand down or at least be in advisory positions.
Well, I think in a presidential position, you need someone with experience. You don't want someone
Not 56 years in
Well,
politics.
here's what I mean by experience:
Plus-
the ability to lead a massive corporation, which is the
I do
United
believe,
States.
yeah, I do believe
And
that.
Yeah.
and so the problem with you were just saying, I'm just again always the guy that says this. So the problem with what you're
I
stating,
had that kid in school.
yeah, I'm that guy. The problem with what you're talking about is that today's youth are experiencing something that they don't have experience enough throughout the world to know the challenges of, like, for instance, one of the most popular things right now for people that are in college age and younger is socialism. And they don't see the dangers of that. And so if you get somebody who's young, who doesn't see the dangers of socialism
Right.
because they haven't experienced how
Mhm.
bad
Or
it
they-
can
or
be.
they
Wait,
didn't
well,
read
let
their
me re-
history
let me
very
rephr-
well.
Let me rephrase young.
Well, they
I'm
were
talking about
taught,
our age.
right?
I'm talking about 50s or close to 50s, right? Because you're not quite 50 yet, are you? No, you're
No,
not.
he's not. We already
Yeah.
just discussed.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
not even
Steph.
close to 50.
I'm
as a
not
matter
even
of
40
fact.
yet.
Right, but see, so we're now in our 50s, late 40s, 50s, and even 60s are
That's about the right age.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
experienced, we're in a different
Yeah.
part of, we're building
Yeah.
our businesses, or we've built a business and we're looking to keep building and growing
She's calling us the young folk.
because we are.
Yeah.
Compared to
we
the
are.
septuagenarian
Well,
or
compared to our current
Octogenarian.
president.
octogenarian, yeah.
Octogenarian,
Sorry,
my poor
he was
dad.
a septuagenarian.
I mean, we just celebrated his 80th birthday and we love him. Todd kept calling him, Todd's calling him Octodad. So we have to get him a shirt that says Octodad. And he
cute.
means it with respect.
that
As
would be a great shirt. Octa
Right?
President.
Oh my gosh. That would actually.
In fact, Octomaga works pretty good too.
In hopes that he would see this and we make it go viral and he goes, oh, wow, I'm an 80-year-old
Yes.
president.
Yeah, maybe I need to step back.
And then look back at the average age of the first 20 presidents. Okay.
Well, they didn't live past 45 back then, so
true. So they were like 80.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just things to think about. I mean, you have to have younger blood. You have to cycle it out. And that's in all levels. I mean, at some point when you're looking at corporations, at big corporations, and we'll just, go off of some of the ones around here in Fort Worth, people will step down from the CEO position and go into an advisory role and step onto their board, and they turn it over to someone who's been working, someone they've mentored into that
position. Do you know
position.
where retirement came from?
Florida. It was a freaking marketing tool is what it was.
No, it came from Russia.
Mm.
When the Russian czars were in power, they got to a certain age. They had accumulated so much power that they couldn't get them out. So the Russians came along and said, look, we need to put some age limits on how long you can be in positions of power. And they did it to get these guys out of power because otherwise they couldn't get them out.
Mm-hmm.
And strangely enough,
we're seeing that.
We're
today.
seeing that right now.
Right. There's an
So
issue there.
Do
I
we
mean,
want to be like Russia?
no, we don't.
or-
But I think that I still think there's lessons to learn from the country.
But you
to
see what
country
happens
management.
when you don't all the things that America has
When
been
we
trying
let
to do over
America-
the course of the history of America is to limit government power.
And we've
And-
just given them the power.
And the problem is exactly what you're just saying. It is we have to be able to know what is actually limiting governmental power and what is actually giving them and empowering an elite class on both sides of the fence. I don't care whether you vote for R or D or I. I don't care.
Right.
You have to understand that we need to limit the power of the people in the government. The government's one thing. The people in the government is the nasty part of this.
That's
Well, it's
a
kinda
really good
like,
way to say it.
My dad, he passed away at 84, and he was mostly coherent his entire life, even all the way up until he was laying in that hospital bed the morning he passed. And sure, I didn't want to do the business without him, but here I am doing it without him, and it's okay. But he should have been in an advisory role for the last 5 years of his life because yes, he was coherent and yes, he was loose.
But he needed to pass.
But
it
he
on.
needed to be in an advisory role,
right.
and saying, okay,
Train you
you're
up.
running it, and here's okay when you need
Right.
help, or
Yes.
okay, this is what you're going to be doing, and now here's how you do it. Here's the help
Yep.
that you need, whatever. And that's where we need to figure out some sort of balance where these guys can still maintain their, because none of them want to give up. And if they are removed, then they're giving up. They're like my dad said, as soon as I quit, I'm dead.
Mhm.
That's how it works. As soon as you retire, you die. Like that's how he saw things. And at least for him, that was basically true. And so they need to be able to be in some sort of advisory role. Like, how do we move them up?
The best companies grow when you set up a way for you're always teaching somebody, you're working yourself out of your job. You're
Right.
constantly working yourself out of your job. And so with the presidential thing, that's something we need to start looking at for the people who are going to represent. It's like, hey, I'm electing you, but I want you to understand something. I want you to be bringing up the next guy.
Right.
Who's
Right.
next?
Who are you
Who's
training?
the next person?
Who are you training up? And that's
Exactly.
the most successful companies right there is when they're training
The
people
last
up.
thing we want is a gypsy being trained up or a genie.
to rub that genie out of the bottle, baby.
You don't want to let that genie out of the bottle.
Right. All right. We got just a few seconds. Coming up at 11 a.m. is the inaugural show hosted by Mayor Chris Fletcher called
The County
Pulse.
All right.
Get your finger on that, baby. And
We're
then
going at 62 beats a minute right now, boys.
and at 1 p.m., tune in for Tatiana Miller on How to Be a Human, one of our favorite ladies on the lam. And be sure to go to fwssr.com and check out the events page. Hey, 12 o'clock today's the Cowboy Campfire, Western music and cowboy poetry, and then so much more. Squeeze Box Bandits is tonight, baby.
That's
Next
what
Monday
we're
at 9
stuck to.
a.m. DFW. Why DFW?
That's right.
Holla.
All right. Be kind and God bless.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, JOCO Community Radio.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can